That's 5 o'clock.
Up with
That's
the clock.
5 o'clock, and we were supposed to start at 4, and you weren't been here.
Oh, so you're complaining on this?
Yeah.
When I came in, you said nothing. You said, yeah, no worries,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
No worries.
yeah.
Well, this is all. You bastard, you're late. I'll chin you. Anyway, hello. And welcome to another episode of Arts and Crafts, where we shall be discussing the latest arts and crafts.
I've no idea why you're doing this Welsh accent.
I don't know where it comes from either. I watched this. I think he was from.
Right. That's it. We're going now. So
we missed that last little bit. The rest will be shit. No. Well, hello there. No, that's enough of that.
yeah, I'm
It's
sick of that Welsh accent already.
We are in the rainy season, and wow, has it been raining? There were 3 warnings. Did you see the Google weather forecast? 3 warnings. One was for gales, one was for flooding, and one was for landslides.
Today?
Yeah, this morning.
I thought it were worse yesterday.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought.
Yeah. the rain were worse yesterday. But this is nothing.
Was it?
This is absolutely nothing compared to England. This is just Tuesday.
Well, it's just rainy, but don't rain for, what is it now, 24 hours in a row in...
Well, it rains for weeks in a row up north.
No, it does not.
It does. It rains and rains and drizzles and rains, and it's grey and it rains and it rains.
I'm telling you, it does not. There are breaks. This is just non-stop. It's like turning on the tap forever. In England, there's these showers, right? And it stops and then it starts, stops and starts.
It drizzle. Constant drizzle.
What an English conversation. The weather, just for 10 minutes, the weather.
Well, we slip straight into it like a pair of comfortable shoes. Like a pair of comfortable, as up in north, as a pair of comfortable wet shoes, damp shoes, constantly damp shoes.
Speaking of damp shoes, I had a 3-hour...
I can smell your feet from here.
Yeah, so it's a 3-hour walk without any socks on in very old trainers. And the oldness of the trainers have transferred themselves into my feet.
And you've got those old pensioner feet now, aren't you? So there's the rotting that's going on down there.
Old pensioners' feet? What do you mean? They're mine.
Well, they are rotting a bit, aren't they? But the smell of them is quite horrific.
You don't smell them from there. I'll shove them in your face.
Although, if I'd have been working today, I would have cycled from work here in waterproofs. Now, because it's rainy season, it is rainy, but it's also humid as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's coming along nicely.
If you've got some waterproofs on and you go to somebody's house to work after you've finished work and you take them waterproofs off, there is a certain stench to you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a time where you need all that powder, that white powder stuff on your feet, like you see in the movies about Vietnam.
Yeah.
And you were there!
Trench foot,
that's it, yeah.
Trench foot, yeah.
What is that white stuff anyway? Is it? It's not cocaine.
It just dries you out.
What is it? Talcum powder?
Talcum powder,
is it?
yeah. It's talc, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it just dries everything out.
Well,
it were clay dust when we were, because they wouldn't give you out as posh as talc when you're in the military. So it's just clay dust that you throw in your shoes. So what they don't realise is it dries you out, but as soon as it gets wet again, you've got boots full of clay.
Oh, right, just to get solid. Oh, nasty.
Fucking simpletons.
Them's ever so nasty.
Mm.
That was my Lincolnshire accent.
Well,
in the Arndale Saint.
Well, yesterday, when it were raining, I went to work and there were a trip on, and I don't have to go on this trip. So I came home last night, woke up this morning, and they said, "Oh, there's no
new shoes.
There's no school on today," so I didn't have to go in.
Oh, right, that's hence the.
I mean, trains haven't stopped running, have they?
No.
I would have still cycled in, but because the kids are such snowflakes here, we can't have them coming in.
Made out of cake, we say.
And it wasn't. The rain hasn't been that bad today, has it?
No, it's just motregen, we say in Dutch.
Nobody's going to know what that means.
Moth rain.
Moth rain?
Moth rain. For moths.
Drizzle?
Yeah, drizzle. Oh. It's not been going hard. But yeah, this morning it was pretty rough. And then yesterday morning, I had a huge warning. Woke me up in the morning. There was the loudspeakers outside saying landslides. And I thought, all right, hello. I'm quite far away from the mountains. You're a bit closer, aren't you?
I'm surrounded by them. I'm sort of in a bowl.
No, but you're meters away from.
Oh yeah. We've got the earthquake wall right up against the side of the house. So if landslide wall. If that landslide wall gave way, we'd be fucked.
Yeah, that's quite a steep. You're talking about, what is it, 20 meters up?
Yeah. But we're walled in. We're walled in on the three sides that surround our house, and you've got the road that comes in to where we live, and all those three sides are, like I say, walled in, and the forest goes straight up from the landslide wall. But I think if that forest decided to come down the side of that mountain,
that's a lot of weight.
It'd take you wouldn't. Well, at least you wouldn't know what had happened. You know, it'd be like that apartment block in Miami.
Yeah. How about that, mate?
Do you know what the surprising thing about that Miami apartment collapse is? Is it been about a week now? 5 days? Happened on Sunday, didn't it? So it's been 5 days, and they've only pulled 18 people out. What are you playing at?
Somebody said that to me yesterday. They said, "Oh, it's where the others are gone. Where they go? CIA? Oh God, here we go. It's the only other option must be aliens or whatever."
There's 150 odd missing, and they've only pulled 18 out in a week. It's
well, either on strike.
Well, it's a bit crap, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty slow. Yeah. Well, Biden yesterday said some of them might still be alive.
But why have they not found any more? 18 out.
Oh, no, I know how. I know why. I had an architect student explain to me it's called a pancake collapse.
Yeah.
And the chance of surviving is basically zero. You don't. If you go sideways, there's a chance of survival. But you're being squashed by all these floors. There is very little chance of survival. But it does take rescuing a long time. Finding bodies is very messy, very hard. You got to get all those layers off before you can find someone in whatever the second or third floor. But that being America, you do think they'd get their skates on a bit and work a bit quicker.
But they were saying the underground park with all that salt water, because it's right next to the sea, isn't it? And it's kind of on a peninsula.
You can zip line down from that top into the sea, I reckon.
And with all that salt water that's gone into the underground parking, those pillars have been eaten away since 1980. And then finally it just gives up the ghost. And
one of my students gave a presentation on this topic, because every week I ask him to give a little presentation. And this week he presented that thing, and he was showing me pictures of the underground pillars with all the cracks and stuff, and to me it's just a couple of cracks. And it's, but these are supporting parts, and they're also, the pillars in America don't have to be very thick. In Japan it's quite strict. You must have pillars of X amount of width and strength. So you're quite fine here in Japan. You're not going to have that kind of collapse here. But in America, the rules are kind of state by state, he reckons. But as soon as he saw the pictures, which were 3 years old, 2018, when he saw this, that should have been repaired right away and enforced.
But they told him in 2018.
Yeah. So that's the same report he was showing me.
Yeah.
Which I think, okay, well, what are you guys playing at there?
But did it happen just before dawn?
It was midnight, wasn't it?
Was it? So there'll have been,
well, the BBC showed the collapse.
Yeah. There'll have been, they wouldn't have known it was coming, would they? You're in bed, the whole thing collapses, and you're done, aren't you?
Well, it's a bit like a bug being squashed by something very quickly.
It's a good way to go, I think.
If I had to go,
it'd be quick. You don't know what's going on.
No, if you wake up, there's no time to wake up. Anyway.
Yeah. You'd probably hear something if you were on one of the lower floors.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, that was a nasty one this week, Yeah, so here we just got the rain all over Japan, basically. One of my students is a helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
And he got the interesting job of working for MBS. Is it MBS?
Mohammed bin Salman.
What's the American TV company who's doing the Olympics?
I thought you were on about the king of Saudi Arabia. MBS, Mohammed bin
Salim. Yeah,
not him.
No, funny enough, it wasn't him.
MBS then, because that's
the TV channel.
CBS.
No, NBC.
NBC.
Well, I think it's NBC.
That were nowhere near NBC.
Yeah,
MBS.
It must have confused you because the Prince of Saudi often comes here to Enoshima. It's one of his favourite hangouts.
NBC because of Olympics.
NBC because of Olympics. Yeah, so he's going to be piloting the camera crew here along the coast
for sailing.
Yeah, for the sailing. Yeah. Which
can you get a passenger seat?
Wow, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I've actually never met the guy. I've
Just
been
online.
Online for about 6
But
months now.
what if the weather's like this?
He can't fly. Apparently, if there's any rain, you
Yeah.
don't fly as a helicopter pilot. Unless it's an emergency or something.
Yeah. But that's what happened with Kobe, didn't it? The fella that were flying in low cloud and it started to rain. And the
Oh, I didn't hear the end of that.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, but that was because of the pilot's.
I think he shouldn't have been flying in that weather.
All right.
Yeah, and it just plunged.
Mm.
But I don't know. You know, with this thing that's going on now at Olympics, it shouldn't even be going on. I think.
Oh wow.
Because the mayor's in hospital with extreme exhaustion, isn't she?
Yeah.
There's
the governor, mate.
The COVID rates are going up, but not really compared to the rest of the world.
Mm.
They're having a fucking pissy fit because I think there were 700 cases. I know it's nothing, is it?
Oh,
really?
no, it ain't.
24 dead yesterday.
Scotland had, I think, 2,000 a day now because of the European Cup.
Yeah.
But how many deaths? I think it's important to calculate how many deaths you get.
Mm. But yeah, and can you imagine catching corona and dying because you went and watched that shit game? The England-Scotland game. Can you imagine how annoyed you'd be? That's the thing.
Someone winning the lottery of unluckiness.
Yeah. I've not seen a single game.
Well, I've watched highlights and I've done a little bit of soul searching on the internet for illegal sites.
Have you found a stream?
Occasionally, but they seem to go down pretty well, really quickly. Yeah. Right.
Because you can download WoW, and I'm thinking of just taking a trial, but I'm not bothered.
Well, that one was free. Duns.
Yeah, but they've not got it. They've not got Champions League.
Oh, they're not?
They didn't have Champions League last season.
Oh, okay. I remember having that that's about 3 years ago, and that was very convenient.
Yeah, but they don't have World Cup, European Championships, or the Champions League. I think when Corona hit, they thought, there'll be no Champions League this season, so they didn't bother with it. And you couldn't get it, because I wanted to watch the Man City final, and that were on WoW, and then I couldn't download it on my phone. And then the European Championships are all on WoW, so you've got to pay for it, you've got to pay extra. This is the working man's game, and you've got to pay for it now.
The working man's game, he says.
Yeah.
That ain't been a working man game for...
It really has,
Premier
has
League
it?
really took off and...
But the way...
Jesus threw out the money lenders out of the tent. That's back on. Is that because I talked about God?
Probably. Yeah, so you've not seen... How bad were Holland again, the Czech Republic?
Yeah, expectedly horrible joke.
But they did right well in group stage, didn't they?
Yeah, but that was sort of a momentarily thing, as they've been doing.
Is De Boer keeping his job?
No, he's off. So the German, I think the mood was so bad that when the Germans took off, the German manager, the German coach, he was asked the question, "Are you interested in Holland?" No, absolutely not.
Really?
no, didn't want to know about it.
So
I mean, he knew they were looking for someone.
So is Holland your go-to team before England?
Yeah, I sort of do both.
You can't do both.
Yes,
You can't. It's not.
The
allowed.
only reason you don't understand it because you don't have it. You don't have that feeling.
You can't go both. You've got to have one or the other. It's like sexual orientation. One or the other.
Well, then I'm bisexual. I'm bi-nationality.
One or the other.
No, they've been working with that, and you don't know what that feels like because you don't have it. But I can tell you that you can have that feeling of supporting both countries equally.
What if they're playing each other?
Well, that's always the question that comes up. Then you sort of, this is a great game. I can't lose.
What about Euro '96?
That was a great game.
Who were you plugging for?
I wasn't anybody. I was hoping it would be a safe game. One of them was going to go through.
Were you in Holland?
I think so. Yeah.
Probably best England game I've ever seen. That 4-1.
That was a good one.
Yeah. And
I suppose I support the underdog more if they do face each other. I kind of hope that the weaker team, whoever at the moment is considered the weaker team, I'd support.
Well, we were on the easy side of the draw, weren't we?
That time?
No, this competition.
Oh, Holland was.
Yeah.
Oh my God, did you see that?
Because when you looked in the last 16, there were only Holland that you kind of worried about, apart from the Germans. Apart from the Germans, because I was thinking if we get past the Germans, we're going to have to beat Holland in semis. And I was thinking, well, because Ukraine went 120, they did extra time.
Yeah.
And they had a couple of injuries, so they're going to be tired.
Well, so did Spain and Croatia. Not Croatia. Who's Spain facing next?
Spain have got Switzerland next.
Switzerland, they've done...
Switzerland went extra time.
Yeah, so they both must be exhausted.
Yeah. And Italy have got Belgium.
Yeah, nice
so
lineup.
Whoever comes out of that Italy-Belgium game are going to be tired, even if it don't go to extra time.
Well, I think I got my money on Belgium for the whole thing.
Yeah.
I always thought they were great, and I think that they were very unlucky in the World Cup, last World Cup. They've got an amazing team, man. It's fantastic on paper.
They've got Martinez as manager.
No, that's another thing.
That's where it all falls apart. That's where it all falls apart.
Well, I think on paper that's one of the best teams, and they'll be unlucky not to get to the final, I think.
But Mancini with Italy.
Yeah.
You see, nobody's really talking about Spain, are they? Nobody's even...
A dreadful performance.
But they've scored 10 goals in the last two games. But nobody's talking about them, and that's the team I'm worried about, is the Spanish. Because everybody's talking about Belgium or Italy, and nobody's talking about Spain. And I think that's
It might give you an edge, yeah.
I don't know, because Gene were born in Spain, he's Spain all the way. He's Gene. He's not even entertaining England.
Oh, really?
Nope. He won't have any of it.
Oh, good for him,
so
mate.
He's gone full Spain.
Oh, nice.
I said, well, can you explain to me why you support Spain in Spanish? He said, no, I was born there. They're my team.
Does he speak Spanish?
No, we left when he... So when were we born? We were born in May, or call it June, because it was 31st of May. So June, July, August, September. We were only there for 4 months.
God, lazy.
But he were born there, and I suppose...
He didn't learn the language in that time.
He were conceived there, and when he were in... getting ready to be born, all the minerals and vitamins that were going in him were Spanish. All that ham on and cheese that were going in were all Spanish. Yeah.
Knowing you.
So, well, I won't carry him. But he's with Spain. He's got his Spain top, and even in World Cup, Japan won't go anywhere.
Well, that often happens. I think when people have two nationalities, there is a bit of kind of confusion in the beginning. You tend to go for the others.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, but it's neither of his nationalities. You know, he's got a Japanese and English heritage going on there, but he was born in Spain, so he's gone with Spain.
Yeah, no, not uncommon, I think. Yeah.
But he, like I say, because it could be an England-Spanish final.
You reckon?
Yeah. But you see, what I think England will do is they'll get past Ukraine and they'll balls it up with Czech Republic, I think. Or Denmark.
What performed by the Czechs, though? They've got a hell of a side as well.
See, we've already beaten the Czechs. I think whoever...
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything.
But the Danish, you see, the Danish are getting good now, aren't they?
Yeah.
After that, because they lost their first two.
Yeah, they got
and they got through. They got through with third place. So, and especially with that Ericsson, they're obviously over that shit now. And I think everybody who hasn't got a dog in the fight now are wanting Denmark to win after that.
Well, I mean, what a terrible thing to happen. A player collapsed on the field.
Is his career over now?
I don't know.
Because it happened to that fella who played for Bolton, didn't it?
What happened to the Ajax guy who never recovered? He's still in the hospital and lost half his mind, and he can barely speak now.
But I think when it's on paper, you think, right, we'll get past Ukraine. We should get past the Czechs again or the Danish. We should do it, but we were on the easy side of the group in 2018. We were on the easy side of the group. We got past Sweden, and then it was Croatia, and we fucked it up against Croatia.
A great team, Croatia. Always very dangerous. But you say that, like, we should go through, as if it's just like a foregone conclusion. And it really ain't.
I know. But that Germany game, I woke up like I always do at 5:30, I looked at my phone, 2-0. All right, brilliant. But then when you're watching the highlights on telly, everybody's complaining about what a crap game it was up until the 65th, 70th minute.
Yeah.
It were really cagey. But it appears that Southgate's fallen on, I don't know if he's fallen on it by accident, these tactics, or it's just work.
Well, it could be the German situation as well. I mean, that's the thing. I think they often get a lot of praise, rightly or wrongly, usually wrongly. It just happens to work out that way on the night.
Yeah.
The bloke said, this man's a genius. Well, not really. He didn't do anything else different. It just happened to be a good night for him. No, Ukraine, yeah, good side. You know, not a bad. Well, there are not any bad teams in the European Cup. You know,
I think it is a better competition than World Cup.
Yeah,
because the European teams are top dogs around the world at the moment,
and it's direct action from each from group stage. There's no easy roads.
And I think we're in the World Cup. You've got, I mean, the South Americans are nothing now, are they really?
Yeah, what a strange.
And the Africans, you get the odd African team that'll do well. You know, like the Black Stars, Ghana did in South Africa.
Senegal did very well.
Senegal, Cameroon were always good in the 90s. But that's about it. Nobody really...
Yeah, even Nigeria, which should, I mean, on paper, again, a big country that you should, and a very football country, you think there'd be a few more players coming out of there, but that's not all that big now.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, and this competition, the European Championships that we've got now, is going to be the go-to football competition, because the World Cup, that Infantino's balls in that up as we speak. The next one's in Qatar in December. Nobody's going to be wanting to bother with that. And then the one after that is Canada, America and Mexico. Imagine how much flying you're going to have to do if you're going over there for that.
What?
The World Cup in 2026 is Canada, USA, Mexico.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Because when it were announced, Trump went and see where I've got you. Do you see where I've got you?
Oh yeah, I've totally forgotten about that.
See, nobody cares. I don't think anybody cares about the World Cup anymore.
It's sort of got a different milieu about it. Yeah, different ring. Yeah, no, the European Cup is more exciting. I mean, there are no bad teams. It's pretty much there are weaker teams, but they can do surprisingly well.
The weaker teams are not as weak as those weak teams in the World Cup.
No, that's true.
When you get in a team like, I don't know, I wouldn't like
Saudi Arabia,
Iran. Well, Iran are quite good, aren't they?
Yeah, not World Cup level.
But they're just the teams that are making up the numbers.
Well, you've got to represent each continent, and if football ain't a big sport there,
but the World Cup really don't bother me anymore. I mean, the 1990 one was the one for me.
Yeah.
Do you remember Mexico '86?
No, I was too little.
I was 15. So was it Italy 90 your first one?
Yeah, that was a big one. Yeah. 1994.
And then it were USA. That were a forgettable one.
That was great. Well, we went to the semis there, beaten by Brazil on fire.
England didn't get there.
What?
England didn't get to that.
Well, when did England get knocked out by
the
Argentina? And then Holland beat Argentina the next
France,
game.
2002.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But England, no, it wasn't to 98. France were 98.
Yeah.
England didn't get to the American one.
Right.
Because everybody in England was supporting Ireland.
I remember that. Yeah.
We had to beat. I think we had to beat Poland. Oh, we had to beat San Marino 7-0, and Poland had to fuck it up. Poland didn't fuck it up, and San Marino scored the quickest qualifying goal against any team. They scored within 7 seconds. That was San Marino. San Marino scored.
The goalkeeper wasn't in his goal yet.
Well,
he was walking around.
They just went for it from kick-off, straight past Stuart Pearce and scored. And we didn't get to that.
That does ring a bell now. Yeah.
We didn't get to that World Cup. It was horrific. and then came Euro '96 after that, because we had not had a international competition for 6 years, and we didn't have to play in the qualifiers because we were the host country.
Yeah.
So everybody were expecting us to fuck Euro '96 up, and then we drew against Switzerland. We were rubbish in first half against Scotland.
Yeah, I remember that with Gascoigne.
Yeah, and then we just fucking had that game against Holland, and the whole country. That summer in England was, it was sunny every day. I remember it being sunny every day through June to August.
These memories, these selected memories. I remember these sunny days. Was it just me, or was it just sunny every day? And the lager tasted better.
It was a great.
England was going to win the European Cup.
I was 25-year-old.
Late every day.
I worked nights, so I would set off out about 10 o'clock. I was getting home at 6. I was getting some sleep, getting on the beer, watching the football, going to work. And it were great, and the weekends and the music were, because they were right in the middle of Britpop, and we had the European Championships. Leeds was a host city, so all the Leeds were flagged up. Brilliant summer. Yeah.
And here we are.
What
Some rain.
What were Holland like in 2000? Because you hosted Euros in 2000 with Belgium, didn't you?
Oh, I don't remember. You got a way better memory
were
than
you
I.
there? I was there.
As a whole, I was there.
No, were you here or were you there in 2000?
I was here. I just arrived. I think, well, no, November. I came in November.
So you would have been at home.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It. I was. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I
don't remember anything particularly about it.
We didn't get past the qualifiers, but we dumped the Hun. So the German, us and the Germans were in the same group,
right?
And we got beat by Romania, and I think we got beat by somebody else, but we beat the Germans.
Oh, was that the 5-1?
No, that were a qualifier. That were qualifier in 2001. That
your memory is insane.
That was the 1st of September 2001, and they scored first. The Germans scored first in Munich. Janker scored first. So they were 1-0 up, and we beat them 5-1 in their own backyard.
Yeah, that was pretty memorable. I think there's people still living and celebrating for that little victory.
But we beat Germany in them qualifiers, right? And we thought, right, I think that was the first game. That was the first qualifying game after Euro 2000 when we'd gone shit. And then what happened was we did really, really well, and all we had to do were draw with Greece to get there.
Oh yes, I remember that.
And that's
Beckham's last the free kick at the end.
Yeah, I mean he were taking all these free kicks, and he were missing this, and I think it were at the Stadium of Light in Sunderland. I think that's where it was. And then he said he took that free kick because he had a Skinner, didn't he? He took that free kick, and he said as soon as I kicked it, he said you can just tell when it's going in, and it went in, and it just went the whole place.
I was watching that match in Felixstowe.
Why were you in feet? Oh,
do you know where that is?
You come over on boat?
Yeah.
Were you going back or coming home?
I stayed at my family's house there with my old man for a bit, a couple of days. Have you ever been to Felixstowe?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, I used to do a sig run from Felixstowe.
What?
I used to get. I had this beat up car, so on a Friday night I just used to, because I used to nick a load of diesel from work. Used to load the car up with 40 litre drums of diesel, drive down to Felixstowe, get the boat across to Belgium. Remember Belgium?
Felixstowe, yeah, that's not Holland yet. No,
yeah, it's to Belgium, and then drive down to Luxembourg, load the boat up with Regal cigarettes, fucking stacked to the ceiling, drive back to England, and then on a Sunday night when I got home, I'd sold them all by 10 p.m. Made a fortune. I'm making like between 800 to £1,000 profit a trip.
Oh, nice one.
And I never thought to pack my day job in and just do it every day. But I wouldn't have been able to nick the diesel.
What kind of car was that? Do you remember?
Beat up Citroen.
Oh right.
Beat up Citroen. So
which kind of Citroen?
It were an estate Citroen, so it had a big boot. The fucking car was loaded up with cigs.
It's a nice car, Citroen, the older ones. DS, as I said.
It were a G-Reg, so 87. They were old.
Nice. Oh well, that's still nice.
Really old. But you could do
designs.
that. You could do that back then, and that financed my first trip around the world, because you were going over there I mean, cigarettes in England then, at the turn of the 2000s, a packet of cigarettes for £4, maybe £3.50. I know definitely £3.50, and yet I could drive to Luxembourg and get a packet of Regal for £1.20. I'd come back and sell a pack of 20 cigarettes. And I was selling them for 30 quid. So they were knocking 50 pence off, and I were making £1 something.
Well, it's good margins, yeah. Luxembourg, nice little place, eh?
It was a beautiful place.
Yeah, tiny. You pass it without knowing.
But I would go there and back, and I'd get on the boat as a foot passenger. I think it's about a 4-hour crossing, isn't it?
I've never taken that route. I always used to do Harwich to Hoek van Holland.
Yeah.
That was a bit long because you go more up north.
Well, I would go down there. I'd get the cheapest ferry ticket. I'd get on. I'd go to the purser. I'd show him my HGV license. Say, look, I take this boat all the time when I'm driving on continent. Can you give us a cabin and get a cabin for free?
Wow.
Yeah, do that all the time. I did when I drove from Bulgaria back home on Christmas Day. I got to the port in Greece, which is just to the side of Corfu. We're on the Greek mainland, and I sailed up to somewhere in Italy. God, I can't remember it. Across the Adriatic.
Yeah,
on
nice.
Christmas Day. And I got on, and we went in as foot passengers, and it was like a 24-hour crossing, and you just had to sleep on the fucking floor.
Yeah.
And I just went up to the passenger, look, I'm an HGV driver, I take this all the time, can you give us a cabin? Give us a cabin. I'm telling you, I drove across Bulgaria, straight across Bulgaria from east to west, dropped down into Greece, I drove across Greece in a day, got into this port, I forget what the port, whatever second city in Greece is Thessaloniki, whatever it is.
Right.
It were about a 4-hour drive from there, and I got on the boat on Christmas Eve at about 10 o'clock, and while we were waiting to get on that boat, I had 2 pints of Amstel. She poured me this Amstel, and it had like a slush puppy head. The head was like half frozen ice. And those pints they were the smoothest pints I've ever had.
Amstel beer, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's Heineken now.
But Amstel was a lovely pint.
That was alright, yeah. Grolsch was kind of the premium ones we remember.
What were you talking about when I were on about that cig run? We were in Felixstowe.
Yeah.
So did you get the game in before you got on boat home?
Yeah. I saw it at the house there because they lived.
They lived in Felixstowe.
Yeah, they lived right on the shore there.
But living in Felixstowe, these port towns where the boats come in, like Dover, and is it obviously it's nicer than Dover, isn't it? It has to be nicer.
Well, I mean,
Dover.
I've got very good memories of that because there's a pier with all the amusement stuff, and then there's all these other game centres along the pier, all that kind of cheap tat stuff.
Yeah.
But as a kid, it was great. I loved it. I don't know how it is to live there. I mean, I remember going the last time I was there. I was a bit older, and my cousin took me to this sort of nightclubish place, and it was nasty. There was fights and people.
But
trying to look tough.
I used to use Dover a bit when I were on these cig runs, and Dover. This was 20 years ago, and it were horrible back then. It were horrible back then. Do you know the woman who played Nursey in Blackadder?
Yeah, of course.
It's Maggie or something, is it?
Bernard. That's her line.
Anyway, whatever her name is in real life,
Patsy.
She owns a house in Dover that it is the closest house to France in the UK. She owns that house.
That's bollocks. Jersey would be closer.
No, on the mainland.
Oh, I didn't say that, did you?
On the mainland. So her house is the closest house to France in the UK.
Oh.
Now she rented that house out for fucking years and fucking years, and it turns out that it were international drugs ring that rented it from her, and they were just helicoptering drugs over the channel and just dropping it at our house and going looking straight back for years. For years, and it took the police, I don't know how many months of investigation to bust them, but it were her house.
Did she get a caution out of it?
Don't know what happened to her, but I know she had no idea.
Well, obviously,
but can you imagine the millions and millions of drugs that are coming in?
You could do a good little deal there.
It's only over 20 mile, isn't it? 22 mile from point to point.
Yeah, and if you go by helicopter, you could do that in a couple of minutes almost. Yeah. That would be a very quick flight.
I mean, and going back to football, you remember that fella that were flying across Channel signing for Cardiff and plane went down just outside of Guernsey?
Oh, yeah.
They've never found that pilot, have they? The pilot.
No, they found the body, I think. They found
the footballers, they didn't find the pilot.
Hmm. Yeah, that was a strange story.
Yeah, that's not a nice way to go.
You'd think that even if that kind of small plane, if that goes down, you jump out of it, or you it's not a jet, that isn't, it's just hovering.
Apparently that plane were breaking up. Because this entrepreneur, he financed the search for it, and they found it right quick, maybe in about 3 days. And the footballer and his dog were still there, but I think the pilot with the tides and stuff had been dragged out of his seat, and he's gone. Never found him. But apparently, that footballer had a chance to call his dad, who was in Argentina or somewhere like that.
South America.
But it were in the morning. His dad didn't pick up, so he couldn't get in touch with his dad. He said, "Look, Dad, this is it. I think we're going down and fucked." And then went down. His dad got the message in the morning, saw the news, and then his dad died in 3 months. After 3 months.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a nice.
That's from there.
A nice uplifting football story for you. But I mean, what would your football memory be? Is there a game that had you crying like a big girl's blouse?
Yeah, several games. Good games, good memories or bad memories?
Both. I mean, when England went out in 1990, I was beside myself. I didn't even watch. When England went out in 1990 and England went out in 1996, I didn't watch the final of either of those games.
I remember, I remember recently the World Cup when we lost to. We lost in the semis. Who was that against then?
Holland.
Yeah.
Your team, not mine.
You know more. Your memory is
but you're the orange man, aren't you? Not
so
me.
it's after Spain. We went to the final again.
Which year?
Well, recently, like whatever the two.
South Africa, Russia.
South Africa, yeah.
South Africa, 2004, 2010. Jesus, that were 11 years ago.
Yeah, that was the semis, right?
You went to the final.
All right. Well, the year after, the time after, we went to the semis. 14
Russia.
then.
Russia.
In Russia.
You got semis in Russia.
I think so.
Did you? Who knocked you out? Brazil or Germany?
Really not. Yeah, there is something wrong with my memory, obviously.
Because if German. Who won in 24? Who won in Russia?
I think Germany got it.
What were in between South Africa and Russia? Were 2018, right?
Yeah.
What were 2014?
Brazil,
that's right, Brazil.
because they had the.
Did you get to the semis in Brazil?
Yeah, that must have been it. Yeah. Well, anyway, so that's semis, and we lost, and then I was beside myself, and booked a ticket to Philippines, to Boracay. I went to Boracay Island. And I saw the final on the beach somewhere, and it was on this massive screen which they built.
Yeah.
And I just got hammered. I think I watched 2 minutes of the game. I just sat there getting incredibly drunk, thinking what might have been. And that was a late goal by Germany. Again, I can't really remember who they've played.
The 2012 European Championships, I think Spain won. And I were doing my kayaking in Spain. Shima. We had Sophia, and I were working from this bar on beach, and we were watching the game, and Shima were stood up, rocking Sophia because she were playing up a bit, And these Brits turned up late. These English people turned up late and were sat behind us. And she was stood up, rocking baby. And this fucking dick, sit down. You know, we can't see. And I just turned, I said, you fucking arrived here late. Who do you think you're talking to? You've arrived here late. If you can't see, move. She's got a baby. I thought you were Spanish. I said, well, I'm not. And then I said to Shim, I said, this is the fucking reason we don't live in England. And, oh, sorry. I said, fuck you, sorry. You just thought she was some immigrant that didn't speak English. I got really pissed off that day. And that's...
Let's spoil that game a bit for you.
The fucking Brits abroad. They think somebody's a full out foreigner. They think they can go full English on you. Like, fuck you. Because I would tan to fuck because I were out kayaking all day. I look Spanish. People would say, fuck me, I thought you were Spanish when they'd hear my voice. And he thought I was Spanish, so he thought he could get away with just spouting off in English. No, nobody's going to understand me, but they'll understand me too. Like, fuck you. Cunts like this everywhere in Spain. But it wasn't even an England game, it was final.
Yeah, you meet some really nasty characters abroad. But then you meet some very good people as well. I've met the greatest English, the greatest Dutch people I've ever met in my life. We're abroad.
But not in Spain.
No,
you'll find them. You'll find them in these way out countries.
Yeah, somewhere in the Himalayas, you'll suddenly what? Yeah.
But that, and then for the second half, because I was just getting myself worked up. So for the second half, we went back to the local taverna near where we lived, and we watched the second half in there, and the Guardia Civil were in there. You know, the federales.
Yeah.
Policemen in uniform, bulletproof vest, guns, just fucking drinking. Just drinking. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Best memory of most ecstatic in tears was when Ajax beat AC Milan in the final Champions League.
Year?
Oh, bloody hell. 95, 94?
Where would it play?
I don't remember. How do you remember all these facts, man?
If it's a game that you were in tears and it were the most, and you can't remember where it played.
No, I don't. I remember
Italia 90 when England got knocked out on penalties with Germany. That were played in Turin in Juve's ground.
Oh right, yeah. Well, that's a nostalgic location by itself.
1999, Bradford City beat Wolves at Wolverhampton to get into the big time. In tears. That's right.
Well, I think that's a very British thing to remember dates and times of something that has happened. In Holland, we just say, "Oh, you remember the thing? Yeah, that was nice." We don't have to waste our brain power on the times and places.
Have you seen a Holland game?
Yeah.
Who did they play?
France.
Here.
No. In Holland.
Were you here for World Cup in Japan?
Yeah.
Did you see any games?
No.
You miserable bastard.
No.
Why not?
I just arrived by that time, and because the games were played all over the world, all over the country, and that was
didn't have the money.
Well, didn't have the money, didn't have the time, didn't have the
know-how.
Location. I was about as fresh as you can get. I was worried about getting a job and stuff like that. Because I did spend a year in Ibaraki by this time up north, and then I went back to Holland, and then I came back to Japan. So I was kind of a bit nervous about how I was going to get by. But yeah, of course, looking back, you say, "God, I should have done this, should have done that." But I play things a bit safe when I just arrive.
Well, you have to, don't you? Because it's such an expensive country that you can't. I were living on instant ramen when I first arrived here for about 3 months. Instant ramen. So I wasn't getting any vitamins or minerals in me, but I were having to live cheap. And all my finger ends just went dry. And the skin started peeling off of my finger ends. Jesus Christ.
You're turning into instant ramen.
So I'd got myself a job, and then I just started putting the fruit and the vegetables in, and then it all worked out fine.
All right. I heard a weird story the other day. This student claimed it's a true story, but it sounds such an urban legend. She said she heard that there was this bloke in a neighbourhood of her friends,
Yeah.
who was found in his apartment dead. He was late 40s, and he was found dead after several weeks. And he wasn't answering his phone, wasn't answering the doors and stuff. So finally, the police, whenever the landlord busts in, and the body's on the floor, and he'd been there for a while, but he wasn't rotting away.
It weren't.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. So, he was an employee at the convenience store, and for 25 years he was a part-timer there. That was the only job he ever had, and he would go home, watch TV, play games, and go back. And he would always eat the convenience store food. And so she said that, this is where the urban legend comes, that he wasn't decomposing because he'd eaten so much convenience store food, so much preservatives, that he preserved himself like some sort of mummy, and his body wasn't decomposing, and that's why there was no smell when the police. So she told me this story. Duncan, isn't that amazing? And I thought, yeah, come on, it's such a classic urban myth story.
Did you not check it?
No, of course not. I mean, what nonsense.
But saying that, those sandwiches that you can buy, those white bread sandwiches that you can buy.
I know them very well. I mean, they saved my life several times.
There is not a white on the earth that is as white as that bread.
And it'll stay that white.
Yeah. And it's not natural at all. But the tuna mayonnaise and the egg mayonnaise and the salad sandwich, the three sandwiches that you get, are really quite special, aren't they?
Yeah, they're great. You could sell that on an afternoon tea in England at Fortnum & Mason.
I mean, if you decided to have an afternoon tea English class, you got three of those sandwiches and cut them in half and laid them out on one of those those sandwich things and poured some milk tea. I think people would lap it up.
Make some scones.
Yeah.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, that's the standard, the most famous standard convenience store food, because they all do it. All the 7-Eleven.
They're so nice, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very good. But they can't be healthy, because I once remember putting it on a table and I left it there for a couple of days. It didn't change colour.
Yeah.
And if you buy a German bread, fresh bread, you leave that within a day, it's going to become green and mouldy. Crap's going to be all over the place. But that 7-Eleven stuff, it's full of preservatives. Yes, it is. Now, can a bloke not decompose? No, I don't think that's the case. Yeah. But it is definitely unhealthy for you. Yeah.
But the Spanish, because I lived in Spain for 3 years, the Spanish won't put up with that sort of stuff.
No, it's one of the healthiest people in the world. Apparently, they're going to be the longest living people as well.
The ham, the bread, the cheese, they're not going to. They won't put up with that processed stuff. And I can't understand how you can get to France and then just cross a sea of 22 miles and get into England, and then we just eat garbage.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Holland hasn't lit in the culinary world up, has it? Really?
No, but are
you just a basic meat and two veg country?
Yeah, but it's one of the healthiest countries in Europe now.
Because you're always on a bike, aren't you?
Well, there's a lot of government stimuli for good food. There's tax on unhealthy stuff. Like what England did with the sweet drinks tax, right? The sugar tax. That's 50 years overdue in other countries.
Yeah.
Hence the obesity in England and all the
load of fat kids in England.
Yeah, but that would explain why a lot of deaths during the Corona time, I think, as well.
I think people were going at it more during Corona because they were treating that lockdown as right. We're on holiday.
Shove it.
Let's get the booze in. My dad was saying at the start of the lockdown, you were having to queue up outside Morrison's, and then you were going in and buying your essentials, and as you were coming out, the police were there, and the police were checking everybody's shopping, and if you had a load of booze, they'd charge you. These are essentials. Yeah. These are essentials, and they'd give you a ticket.
How much was a ticket?
60 quid.
What?
So they were checking your fucking shopping and going, bottle of brandy, bottle of vodka, 48 cans of beer. That's not essential.
Well, I'm making a brandy
because
butter.
They were saying that you're putting yourself at risk just to buy a load of booze. And you know, I think after about a week, the public were saying, what the fuck is going on?
Well, they must have made a bundle up north.
Yeah, because that's what my dad was saying. People were just coming out with trolleys and trolleys. I mean, the trolleys are huge in England. When you live here, you get a trolley and you put your basket in a trolley and you push that about, don't you?
Yeah.
But in England, when I took Shima for the first time to England with Sophia, and we went to a supermarket in England, she was amazed at the size of the trolleys.
Yeah,
because I could sit in one of those those trolleys are bigger than a normal Japanese bath.
Certainly, yeah.
And people were just loading it up, and it were full, and it's crisps and booze and
Yeah, there's no lack of unhealthy stuff. I mean, I love it. The last time I was in England, I went to Safeways.
Yeah.
And we bought like 100 quid's worth of stuff.
Yeah.
And took it back, lots of cheese and stuff. And,
Yeah.
And it is all there.
Yeah.
And when you come to Japan, you think, all right, it is healthier here.
Yeah.
And good on them,
But you see some people in front of you in the supermarket, especially on a Friday night in Japan, and they'll have like 2 or 3 baskets, and they've spent like 100 quid on these 2 or 3 baskets.
Yeah.
But everything that's getting rung through is all healthy.
Yeah.
You don't get the bags of crisps. Have you ever seen a multi-pack bag of crisps in Japan?
Only in a Costco, which was
but not in a Japanese supermarket.
No.
You don't have that crap.
You don't get that. Once or twice you see that family size one, and it's maybe double a normal chips.
Yeah, but you're not getting the 20 bags in a bag thing, are you?
No, that really is the American shopping, the Costco trips.
Yeah.
You've been to Costco, right?
No.
You got to take a look, because it is good fun.
I went to the one up by the base because my friend up in Yamato, my friend lives up there, and she took me, and I bought fucking loads of peanut butter.
Right.
Stacks of it. I bought like 3 or 4 kilo tubs of it, and I shouldn't have done because I were doing a kilo a week of peanut butter.
Well, that Skippy stuff.
No, it was the natural.
Oh, right.
With the sesame seeds and
nice.
it were good for you, but it was so fattening.
Yeah.
And I'm cutting now. I bulked and I'm starting to cut now. This next month, I'm starting to cut in. I've been cutting for a week now, and I'm getting a bit ripped. So another 3 weeks, I'll be beach ready. Are you doing it? Are you coming on the journey with me?
Beach ready.
Are you under 100? Or have you
I'm under 100. No, I'm the right direction. As the weather's getting warmer.
Are you still 99?
I'm 98.
98?
Yeah. I'll be happy at 92. That's my target.
Are you going to be 92 before August?
Before August?
Yeah.
In the month?
Yeah.
8 kilos. 7 kilos. 90? Did you say 90, 92?
92.
92. That's 7k down. 6k down.
It's a stone. £14.
It's possible, yeah. But no.
I'll send you what I'm eating at the moment. I'll send you what I'm eating and what I'm doing.
You're crap.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing now. Now that I'm just on the protein at the moment. I do 2 kettlebell sessions and the cycling and the stretching and the 100 push-ups in the morning, and it's all slowly coming to fruition now. Everything's tightening up. It's
nice
great.
One. Yeah.
So why don't we do it together?
It sounds like a lot of hard work. I prefer my exercise in a fun way.
Well, it is fun.
No, it's not, mate. It's sweating your balls off. I like swimming in the sea. When I'm e-foiling, that's purely core balance. You got to keep your balance. You're in a position.
You might as well say, oh yeah, I walk and play golf for my exercise.
Walking is an exercise.
But it's not, is it? Really, you people walk. Like, what do you do to it? Oh, I play golf. Well, you walk and you hit balls. It's not an exercise.
Well, I walked to Fujisawa and back today.
Golf's a game. This is the thing. It's not a sport. It's a game. Darts is a game. It's not a sport.
Yeah, agreed. Well, chess is a game. You're not going to burn the calories.
But people say that golf's a sport. It's a game.
I walked 11 kilometers today. 11k.
But what will you throw down your neck tonight when you get home?
Not that much. No. I'm not I don't pig out anymore on the weekend.
I've got myself down to 2 meals a day. I'll have a protein bar for lunch and a bit of yogurt, but I'm more or less down to 2 meals a day at the moment.
Well, that'll sort it out as well.
But it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to sort the shit. I thought it'd be a lot harder, but it's not. As soon as you get yourself into that routine, 3 days, and it's a routine. You're not listening to me.
No, I was thinking, I've got a mosquito bite on my leg. Where did I get that mosquito bite from?
Fucking hell, I try to
thinking-
give you some helpful advice, and you're thinking about a mosquito bite on your heel.
Well, then I was thinking, oh, that sentence is finished.
Right, I think this is getting a bit too boring for you, isn't it? And we're coming up to the hour mark, so if you want to shut this down, be my guest.
Well, what's one more quick topic? What else is going on here? We are about to. Did you see the Olympic sailors?
No.
Most of them have arrived, and they're out practicing. I've seen some stuff on online of them, of footage practicing here off Enoshima on some singles and doubles.
2 days ago on Wednesday, I nearly put myself over the fence onto the beach, cycling to work. Because 2 days ago there was some really quite big swell coming in, and there were a lot of surfers out, and especially at half seven.
Yes, I remember that.
7:30 in the morning, right? So as you go past Zymo, this beach of yours here, and then you go over the hill on whatever that beach is called,
Muragasaki, yeah.
Now you get towards not Enoshima, because I turn off before you go over the hill to Enoshima, but that little area there is where a lot of them surf. So I'm cycling and I look out at the surfers. A lot of women out there, but because it's warm now, there's a lot of women that are just in bikinis out there surfing. So you just, this is nice, a nice view as I cycle to work.
Disgusting.
And then this woman caught a wave and she come in. This were about 100, 200 metres in front of me. She come in and she fell off. The wave went past her. She got back on the board and goes to paddle back out. And as I got level with her, the arse is just there as she's paddling out, and I'm just looking. Jesus, what a great commute this is. And I'm just looking and looking and looking. Meanwhile, the fucking traffic has stopped at the red light. I look back just in time. There's a car there. I turned to the left, heading towards the fence. I just got it back. Otherwise, I'd have been over that fence and onto the beach.
Yeah, I know that. That's quite a drop as well.
Yeah. But
Killed by arse.
There you go, yeah. But I like the positive spin on it is my testosterone is still throbbing through my veins at 50 years old. That there's still the ticklings of a growler in me.
No, but that's always going to be the case, mate. I remember having a discussion with my old man who was in his late 70s saying, "Oh, Duncan," during his couple of drinks, "Oh, Duncan, you never lose that itch. You can't do much about it, but you always, that's the dreadful thing about getting old. You're going to keep that horniness, but you're not going to be appealing. You're not going to go." Well, that's a great lesson, Dad. Cheers for that.
But I'm gonna have to start watching myself, because I've got another 2 weeks of work left before I've got 7 weeks off. How many weeks have you got?
Nothing.
And then, so this next 2 weeks, especially if the weather fines up, I think it's going to be packed out there with people lining up for the swell coming in, especially after this rain.
Yeah.
But you've got no bars on this beach here, have you, this year?
No, nothing's allowed.
You see, Zushi being Zushi, where the chavs are the Shonan coast, we've got bars this year.
Really?
Yep.
On the beach?
On the beach. They were building. They've not, because
we've got one little building here on the beach, and it's the lifeguard.
Yeah. Well, those beach bars usually start June 1st till August 31st, and then in September it's right, piss off. But yeah, they've started building, but they're not up. I think they might be open now, because I think it might be July 1st that they open. Yeah. But you've got to pay a fortune to get one of those bars up and running.
I looked into it once, and it was some ridiculous.
Like $1 million. Oh, 10 million?
I think so. It was some ridiculous. I was like, how do you justify that?
Yeah.
I think it can't be 10 million, but yeah, about 8 years ago I did look into it.
The ones in Hayama on the Morito beach are a bit more high class because you've got people who live in Hayama are very posh, and there's always one that's right over towards Morito Jinja, which is the temple, called the Oasis Bar, and they've got it's like a live house, so they've got live bands on and good food, really good food, and it's a really nice bar. So if that's open this year, I think I'll spend a lot of time there. But that is a really, really nice one. But I can't see him making much money this year because people are still worried about Corona, aren't they?
Yeah, especially in Japan. I mean, people are quite timid about that. In Holland, well, in England, even before you're supposed to go out, you can go out from the 20th. On the 15th, people be out and about. You just can't stop them. Here, it's the opposite. You can go out, and people won't be going out.
No. Well, I don't wear a mask when I'm outside, and people look at me. But as soon as I go inside, I'll put one on.
Yeah. On the streets today, and it was pouring with rain. I didn't mind the rain. I had no umbrella. I didn't put a mask on, but people were looking at me. It's pouring with rain. Yeah. This is a very wide avenue. We don't, there's nothing here. It's next to a highway.
Yeah. They're still paranoid.
Yeah. So there's that.
And that's why it didn't skyrocket, because they are rule followers, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
That's why it didn't skyrocket.
I think that's
which is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the number of deaths, I haven't checked the last couple. I think they're still under 15,000.
Yeah.
Which is less than a normal year because the flu has been completely edited out, so there's no normal flu. Yeah. I had a bit of a weird day the other day. I ate a really big dinner, right? Because I made too much for myself, but I thought, okay, I'll finish that off. And then...
you don't have to eat it all.
No, but I made it for two people, but my wife was out, so I ate her portion.
You should have just saved it for her.
Shut up! So I ate the portion, and it was on sale at the supermarket. These sort of 800 grams of chocolates, of toffees. So I ate half of that, watching TV, and then I was a bit thirsty. So I drank half a bottle of Bailey's, and then at night, my stomach was a bit strained.
I wonder why.
I wondered why.
Fancy that.
And I wondered why my stomach felt a bit strange. I said, I don't know, it was a bit weird. It was a bit weird. So I told that story to a mate on the Sunday, because that's actually your story. You told me that story. Your old man did that. And he was telling me this story, but you were telling it in a very dry way, saying, and then he was surprised that
yeah.
So I told the same story to a mate, pretending I was surprised that I felt a bit odd.
Well, I had to do my not bi-yearly. I do it once every 2 years to my dad, because my dad starts feeling down every now and again, and he buys a load of chocolate for like weeks and weeks on end, and he just eats chocolate all night, and then he puts weight on, and his posture's all to shit. He stops exercising. And then he'll call me, "Oh, I've done it again, Dad," and I've got to bark at him like a Nazi to stop doing this shit. And he said, "Oh, but I'm feeling sorry for this." I said, "Why are you feeling sorry for yourself? Your mother." I said, "Well, is it doing you any good, this feeling sorry for yourself?" "Well, no." I said, "Well, stop feeling sorry for yourself." And I have to bark at him. So then I told him like I did 2 years ago, I told him what he had to do. He's gone and bought some protein for himself. He's now sorted his diet out. And I said, "Are you feeling better?" "Yes." So it's no coincidence. It's absolutely no coincidence. Yeah. But at least he's not like my dad's like me. He's not. He don't drink. He only used to drink because my mother drank. So since when my mother got sick and then when she died, my dad hadn't had a drink really for about 8 years. He don't bother with it.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, but he will sit at home and just think. But I mean, with the lockdown, and it's just loneliness now. Yeah. Anyway,
I really think you should have a look at that Thailand idea of having him come over.
What I've worked out for next summer, Do you realise how cheap flights to Athens are from here?
No.
So fucking cheap.
Give me a number.
For a family of 4, return 247,000 yen in August.
No, that's not bad.
9th of August. But if we went to Portugal, which is where my dad wanted to go, it's 800,000.
Okay, that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Greece, Portugal, I don't think he would notice the difference if he were there in both cities. He'd say, oh, this is nice, that's nice. There would be no difference at all in terms of the weather, the things that you want to have because you're out of England.
No, I've been to Greece, I've never been to Athens. And I want to go to Athens, but I will say to my dad, get yourself to Athens, it's three hours. All you've got to do is get yourself to Athens. Once you're there, it's sorted, and I don't think he will.
Yeah, but why not get him to town? Get him to a nice sort of beach area with like a couple of English pubs and a department store and everything like the modern luxury part.
Are we on about in Greece or Thailand?
Thailand. Get him to a place where that's not a whoremongers place, but a place where there's a nice beach and a bit of Englishness with pubs, and you can get his fish and chips there as well. But the temperature is nice.
He's not even bothered about that. He's not even bothered about that.
But I think the atmosphere cheers people up.
But he needs his familiarities, does my dad.
Yeah, but I think, and I also underestimated how quickly that can. Familiarities are never a great thing, you know.
Oh, I know. We know that.
No, but it's because he's not being shown anything. He's not being pushed somewhere else. Older people tend just to be worried about anything new. Once they're sort of in a new environment, someone's pushed them and say, "Oh, this is quite good. Yeah, cheers for that, mate. Yeah, I don't mind this." It's just the fact that they don't want to take that first step anymore themselves, so they have to be kind of guided a bit.
I've not been on a trip with my dad since my mother's died, obviously because we can't go home. But those trips between 2014 and 2019, you go on a trip with my dad for, I think the longest one was 2.5 weeks when we went round the Republic of Ireland, and you just travelling. It was fucking brilliant. But my dad, oh, your mother, you know, she's fine. What are you worrying about? She's fine. But he couldn't enjoy it.
Well, I really regret not pushing my father a bit more, because I know he would have liked it if he were there, and then he would have been fine even on his own. If there was a couple of places he could visit, have a little bit of a chat in a pub, meet other elder people, occasionally play some balls, he could have a pint, and the weather is just the way that it is there, and you've got your comfortable air conditioning place just 20 metres down the road with a comfortable toilet and stuff like that, and a comfortable bed.
I was flying from Manchester to Hanoi. It were 2000 and something, maybe 15, and Sheen were coming to meet me in Hanoi from Japan. Flying, and we had 3 seats next to Wyndham, me, Sophia and Jean, and then there were the 4 seats in the middle. And I'm not joking, there were a couple in the late 70s, early 80s flying to Australia. They'd been to see the family in England and they were flying back to Australia. And I took a photo of them. The people that were sat in front of them had reclined the seats, and the fellow was just doing his puzzle book. My dad loves doing puzzles. And I sent him that. I said, right, no excuses. You're going to have to come to Japan. No.
I think it's not the most relaxing place unless you know exactly where to go
but, you know, he's going to land in Narita and I'm going to be there.
Yeah. But then weather-wise, I mean,
it comes in August, and especially now because we've got that new house now. There's room, but I'm too scared, Darren. I'm just too scared.
Well, I know that's it. Don't blame me for that. I mean, that's what you got to guide him.
Unless my friend Julian comes here to visit me with his wife, unless that happens, I'm not going to be able to get my dad to Japan. Because Julian could bring him, right? He could bring him. It's just the flight. Once he's here, fucking hell, I mean, look at the place in the summer.
Yeah.
You know, we've got this big 3-bedroom, or we will have this big 3-bedroom house on the 23rd. You know, even if Julian and his wife and my dad came, we'd just pile the kids into our room, and then there's 2 bedrooms free there, and you know, cycling, beach, and I would then get off my fucking ass and travel around Japan because I've not done that yet.
you
know, and go and see places I want to see. But I don't know, because now my mother's dead. Oh well, my sister, and she's 83, and she doesn't really know her arse from her elbow at the moment. And my dad says, I go there, and the staff say, oh, just half an hour, John, and then we're going to have to move you because of Corona. And my dad's like, all right. And he says, it's getting to 25 minutes. And he's like, where's this staff? So he wants out. But, yeah, just getting him here. I don't know. It's just a different attitude. If any of my kids are living anywhere in the world, if they're in the middle of deepest, darkest Congo, and they say, hey, Dad, do you want to come and visit? Fucking right.
You said it now, Dan. I'm sure your dad would say it as well when he was your age. I think.
No, it wasn't. They didn't leave the UK until my dad. The first time my dad left the UK, he was 47 years old.
Yeah, but that's all right. That's a particular generation that just doesn't travel. It's was it Butley's holiday camp?
Pontins.
Well, then that's kind of the big thing.
We used to go to Pontins on May Spring Bank Holiday because it was the cheapest time to go. They had a caravan in Dales that they used to go to every weekend, which was the most boring place on earth. But this, and you know, you sort of use that as a right. I don't want this. I'm off. When I said to my mother, I'm off to travel around the world, she could not compute it. She couldn't compute it in her head.
Well, that's a different time, different generations. But once people see what's available, and then now we can with the internet, and then they need a bit of a nudge to go there. I can't see how you cannot enjoy a quiet beach area in Thailand or Indonesia or Philippines, just a quiet, with all the comfort that provides. You know, back to your little bungalow, you got your comfortable bed, you got your air conditioning.
Tesco in Krabi.
Well, like that.
Tesco's.
Yeah. So, yeah, that really is no excuse, I would say, in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah, when we rented that villa out in Onang Beach, in Krabi, and used to go down to Tesco's on night because we didn't go out drinking it. We'd go out to eat, and then we'd come back. And as we came back on motorbike, we were a proper Thai family. She were up back. Jean was stood up in the footwell, holding on to the front, and Sophia was in the middle of us both. All four of us on this trike, and we'd go into Tesco's and we'd load up, because it was holidays, we'd load up on cake and crisps and then go back and eat shit.
Nice.
But it was a Tesco's.
Yeah. I mean, when I see people in Holland, older people, sort of rotting away, looking out the window, you know, out of their little houses, watching the sun go down every day, I think, fuck me, mate, you could be somewhere nicer.
But where Tom's school was, what was that station where you used to work?
Oh, Tokyo. Maida Mai.
Maida Mai, yeah. There was a Tesco Express there, wasn't there?
Yes.
Remember?
But that closed down.
But there were one there, wasn't there?
Yeah, but they only had, I think, some biscuits. They had like a little corner which was the British corner. Yeah, and it was 99% Japanese supermarket.
Still, it was a Tesco Express, wasn't it?
I think that was sold. Tesco sold that to whatever. But you had some biscuits and a couple of tin beans. That's hardly at Tesco's.
Yeah.
But I used to get the digestive biscuits there. Yeah, I did.
Well, that's the thing. And I don't know. When are they saying you can have your vaccine?
14th.
For this month?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Are you getting it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not here. It's in. I'm going to the city. I have to go to. It's the company. It's the Moderna vaccine in Otamachi. But the missus can get one as well, so we're both being.
I'm just waiting for my letter to come through, and then I'll go get it done in Zushi.
Yeah, you guys are much quicker than Kamakura, apparently, from what I've heard from students.
There's not as many old people in Zushi as these here.
No.
So they've got the old ones done. So at 50, I'm more or less next in line in the next month or so.
There's a population here. This city has a population of 170,000. There's 200 of them who are older than 100. That's pretty